Ex-MLM members and recruiters, what are your stories/red flags and how did you manage to out of the industry? I wouldn't say I'm exactly an ex-MLM, but I discovered that unless I enroll someone for the month and want the commission from that sale, it's not worth buying products for myself. Besides, I make more money selling media graphics and pamphlets than I do from actual commission lol. Pro tip, it's much easier to sell stuff to MLM ladies to grow their business than it is to sell to non-MLM members to start their business. Yay, here in Chicago there's whole companies to help you boost your MLM media page/impact. And funny enough, those have their own pyramid tiers too. Oh, and life insurance for those boss babes, also exclusive to the MLM companies but built like a pyramid too. Oh weird, I haven't seen an MLM boosting company yet. Lamau, we've gone too far. I was a call agent for Tahitian Noni for the USA and Germany, now called Marinda. It was horrible fielding calls near when people's $120 monthly auto payment was due for 4 1-liter bottles of juice. I couldn't cancel their subscription on late notice without a fax with their signature at least a week in advance, unless they claimed financial hardship. Eventually I learned that I would just need to feed them what to say and then gladly cancel for them on the phone. Total scam. Only people who made money were the early people to sign up and the founders, who are multi-millionaires. Holy balls. My uncle had my grandma drinking noni juice for the longest time. She couldn't afford that stuff, but he was convinced all you needed in life was noni juice and a chiropractor. Doctors were bad. I'm a slacker, but oh well. My ex-boss brainwashed me into hempware. I was very skeptical about CBD working for anxiety. I had tried everything and nothing worked. It actually worked surprisingly. This was before the big hemp boom. So my dumbass paid the $20 and luckily that's all. I thought it was rather weird that my manager kept pushing me. Talking about running your own business. My mom had her own business before she died. I knew it wasn't my business. After trying other CBD products and getting better deals, I basically saw they were exploiting people, charging too much for their product. I was very back and forth most the time. The thing is, it helped me and it did work. Just a lot of terms were thrown around that seemed off. So I basically paid $20 and never sold anything. My wife wanted to do Nu Skin for about half a year. The thing is, we already have an online sales business with a few thousand regular clients, so doing Nu Skin just added one more product onto our product list, which was already pretty extensive. The problem, as I knew it would be, was that you don't make any real commission money unless you get people below you. No biggie, my wife just fake signed up family members and did all her sales in their names so her name could collect the higher commission. But even after going to all that hassle, multiple emails, credit cards, shipping addresses/PO boxes, etc., the commission was still only something like 15 to 17%, and our typical profit margin on cosmetic products is more like 40%. Some stuff, like the Body Shop shampoo, we can sell for over 100% markup. She figured that the free vacations and other perks for winning sales competitions would make up for it, and she ended up in position to win a 5-day trip to South Africa. But when we researched what all the trip entailed, it actually seemed like it was going to suck balls, especially when we had a 1-year-old at the time, so she just cancelled all her accounts, sold off the remaining product, and that was that. Bottom line is that if you had the ability to make real money doing online sales for an MLM, you'd most likely make twice as much money for half as much work actually just working for yourself. I'm saving this one, I know juicy answers will be coming. My SIL talked me into selling It Works. I was hesitant, didn't quite need the money, but figured extra income couldn't hurt. Was a seller for 6 months. They kept telling me to add all of these women I have in common with people I'm already friends with, and to post about it 3 to 4 times a day on Facebook and Instagram. I literally made an Instagram for it. They said to message at least 30 people a day about. And twice a week there was a group video chat they kept insisting I join. I couldn't join due to me being at my normal job. All in all, I hated it. I'm awkward and a terrible salesperson. And I made nothing from it. Never made a sale. They kept saying try and get your mom or aunts to support you. It was a waste of money and all. But, made out with one new friend. I fell victim to it works as well. I knew something was seriously wrong with the company when they would take your money for their hot new product, and then you wouldn't receive anything for weeks, but they didn't hesitate to take the next payment for the auto shipment that you never receive in the first place. The straw that broke the camel's back was when they charged me 3 times in one day for the same product, and when I reached out to my upline about it, she said I would just have to call them myself. After waiting on hold almost 2 hours, the man on the line at customer support essentially told me that it was an issue with PayPal and not them, and there was nothing he could do. Needless to say, I then called PayPal and reported them, and PayPal essentially blocked them from making any future transactions. I eventually got my money back after a few days, but the whole thing was very inconvenient and definitely left a bad impression of MLM. When I was a freshman in college, I got suckered into joining Quickster, old name for Amway, I guess. Didn't stay in it long. Only ended up out $300 or so. I was put under a lot of pressure to travel out of town for all these retreats and shit. I refused to make time for it and quit taking calls from any of them after a while. Also, all of my friends were smarter than me and refused to sign up as a downline. Quite a few people wanted to buy products. I think it would have been okay if that's all I was expected to do, push product. But that's not how these things work. I worked for Cutco when they were on my campus like any other job/business. It paid $17 per hour. Much higher than anything a work-study would give me. We had a group interview where we were asked to write down everyone we knew. Then we got a lot of we were doing home demos. I was wasted. I did however got 3 appointments and were paid for them minus the 4 weeks it took to mail me. I quit after there was an article saying that the student government at the college banned them for ever coming back. TL, Dr. Broke college student dumped by Vector/Cutco. If any job says you can set your own hours or require you to call people, it's a scam. As scammy as Cutco is as an employee, their knives are pretty fucking fantastic. Edit, I didn't mean I was or am an employee. I think the only MLM to really offer a good product. By not getting in, I've seen a friend and his wife get into Amway, and in 3 years, they sold most of what they had, moved back in with the husband's mother, and both begin selling drugs to support the Amway habit. They still think they are mere months away from being millionaires. It's infuriating. One of my stepbrothers and his wife got into Amway hard. Even got our parents into it. No matter how many times I tried to tell them it was a pyramid scheme, they just kept telling me they were business owners who were just waiting for the business to kick off. Eventually our parents and my stepbrother got out of it after they realized they're losing money. SB's wife is still in it, though she's stopped saying she's going to be a millionaire and now just says she makes enough money for all their extra expenses. Amway pays for our Christmas gifts every year. Recently it came out they were in counseling and one of the biggest issues is they're losing money through her Amway and she still refuses to quit it. Greater than one of the biggest issues is they're losing money through her Amway and she still refuses to quit it. He's going to have to do some pretty difficult calculus as to whether or not he needs to cut her off. Sometimes people just don't believe that they are drowning, and no amount of evidence will convince them otherwise. If you're legally chained to that person, you might have to break out the bolt cutters and just close that chapter of your life, or risk getting caught in the same swirling vortex of suck that they are being pulled into. My mom was caught up in the Market America scheme. They manipulated an already vulnerable, mentally unstable woman to sink $20,000 into her business. She took her own life less than a year later. If the company has washed up celebrities as spokespeople and asks you to spend more money than you typically make in your business, you may want to reconsider your investment. I'm so sorry, that's incredibly heartbreaking. Should ask this on r/unteam. Joined a jewelry-based MLM thinking it would be cute to sell jewelry as a side hustle in July after I relocated across the country. I got roped into the be your own boss and make money while you sleep mentality, and for a while, it boosted my confidence because I truly thought I was doing a great job running my own business. On paper, I brought in good money, about $100 per live show, which was 1 hour a week, but I had to ship out the jewelry to them, which ate about 20% of the profit. Then the money earned went back into ordering more jewelry. By September, once the glitz and excitement of it all wore off and I realized nothing was coming back to me, my boyfriend told me the only way to earn money in the business was to add new business partners. I told him I wasn't interested in doing that, but that was part of the scheme. I was so hurt by the people who had roped me into the business. So I quit that same day. Luckily, I made it out with only like $30 lost, but I still have a ton of jewelry and packing materials taking up space in my house. I would sell reminding products on eBay just to get rid of them. Some dude tried to recruit me into buying/selling energy drinks. It was a known scam throughout school at this point, so I decided to go along with it to see where it would go. The guy's dad was a friend of mine, and my dad has a pretty well-known computer shop in town. Anyway, I go to pick up MLM man from his house to go to a meeting. This guy loads 3 cases of energy drinks, I think they were called Vima or something, into my car. I was already sketched out and this was a liability I didn't want to encumber myself with, so I told him I had a family emergency. He got out of the car, told me to keep the -85 energy drinks. The 3 cases were in my car for a few weeks, never touched them. About a month after hearing anything, one morning there were maybe 8 to 10 cases of the energy drinks stacked right outside the back door of my dad's shop. 2/10 would not try to join a cult again. Vema, and they were hit hard by the FTC for being a product-based pyramid scheme. Been 4 years since they went Chapter 7. Time flies. I kinda got sucked into an essential oil MLM. Went to an oil party that a coworker was throwing for like half the office. Everyone bailed except me. I felt bad, so I bought some oils and signed up as a wholesale member. Found out a few other people at work were members of this MLM as well. Luckily I was never pressured into becoming a seller and had no minimum purchase requirements. Been 2 years since it happened and I wasn't charged for anything I didn't intend to buy. Also, I'm not into essential oils as a health thing like a soccer mom would be. I put them in a cheap diffuser to make my apartment smell nice or mix some with coconut oil to put in my beard. I joined Primerica. I didn't see any red flags at first, but small ones started popping up. Like my team leader telling me to basically live outside my means to make people think I was doing really good and then they'd join and then I'd do really good. Or finding out all the contests ran around recruitment and not sales numbers. I left as soon as I realized, even put my name and number on the do not contact list. Blew a lot of money trying to make that work only to realize I wasn't going to make any money without fucking my friends. I know a guy who was, and I think still is, neck deep in this shit. Posting pictures and videos of the meetings and these successful people. He was a union carpenter and was doing well for himself. Was a decent dude. Joined Primerica and contacted me on FB trying to catch up, then asked me to hear a presentation or some shit. Told him I didn't have time, I work 6 days a week and father of 3, and he got shitty with me about it. Hasn't talked to me since lol. On another note, what is it exactly that Primerica supposedly does? Sells term life insurance. My recruiter told me she made $400 at the party I was at. I later learned she made 25% of that. I was told if I could get 2 people under me, I would make $400, $500 per month. Then I was told I needed 4 people instead of 2. Then I was $2,000 in debt with nothing to show for it. Deleted them all and changed my phone number. Edit, I am an owner of 2 businesses, so I thought adding a small side hustle would be an easy transition, but it turned out that as a legitimate business owner, I couldn't bring myself to use the toxic business practices that were expected of me: cold messaging, hounding people for orders, constantly reminding people about deals, etc. When I left, I helped the two girls who were under me get out as well, and apologized for roping them into something I thought was a good deal. Greater than I helped the two girls who were under me get out as well, did you offer them a job at your legitimate businesses as a way out? Just curious. Reading this thread was very confusing considering the whole time I was thinking of MLM as in men loving men. Was on Bumble and this hot chick who TBH, either it was a bot or a catfish. Anyway, she asked me out for coffee to talk business. I was surprised cause you know women and first moves. It wasn't even a date, it was ACN, and they pay almost $600 to get in. I told her to pay for it, you know, since she was bragging how easy she makes money, told her I could pay with the first money I'd make in the company. She kinda got me hooked and I attended their repetitive speech events twice. Their people are fake AF. After many awkward attempts to get in almost everyone I knew, ruining relationships in doing so, I spent a month and two without a sale. I was pissed. After doing some research and realizing how impossible the marketing tactics are, no advertising, just tell a friend, relative or anyone, I unfriended everyone, left their group and told them to delete every identification of me. I kept my $600 too, just time wasting man, fuck those guys man. One of the first jobs I took out of college was one, and to this day I cringe thinking about it. Looking back, the red flags were easy. At first the interview process was so fast and the recruiter didn't even really say much about the company, just about how much everyone could make. As a new college grad I was blinded by the idea of making money fast. I quickly realized this was not a real job when we were tasked with walking territories to sell energy and we had to cover all expenses. The whole goal was to sell energy while also building your team who would then sell energy for you while you just collected money. Didn't sell anything that week. No paycheck. There was literally a week where I got a $30 paycheck. If it wasn't for my GF loaning me money at the time, which I eventually paid back, I would have had to move back home. I grew so sick of the people and the scam I found a new job as fast as I could. When I did, I never even told the other place I was leaving. Only one person reached out asking where I went, told them I found an actual job. Used to sell unique. It was easy to get out. I wasn't making any money, I couldn't be fake to sell my product, and I learned about quality makeup and unique, ain't it lol. You can buy ColourPop for literally 1/4 of the price and 10x the pigment and blendability. I know a girl who got sucked into Arbonne. She constantly makes videos on FB and Instagram acting like she has this perfect life, and last I heard, her boyfriend, that she claims in her husband on social media, had to call her from a gas station to see if they had any cash in the house because both their credit cards were declined and he needed gas to go to a friend's birthday party. Needless to say, he didn't go. It literally says Boss Babe on her Instagram. Is Arbonne MLM? Friend's wife sells it and is into the whole Arbonne lifestyle. Makes good coin, although she's from a wealthy family so it's not her only means. 100%. My sister got roped in for a hot second. I worked at the head office of a large MLM, and one of the OGs. Mary Kay. You have to live, breathe, and shit pink. Honestly, I once got sent home from the office because I had made a cardinal mistake. I had worn a pantsuit to the office. As a woman, we were expected to wear a skirt or dress daily. I was new and didn't really think they'd get upset over a pantsuit, all things considered. I was wrong. I know this is a different perspective, but hear me out. I didn't really know what Mary Kay was initially. All I remember is seeing the old school pink eyeshadow cubes in my mom's makeup drawer. I started to discover that things were all a bit strange and predatory. We would run campaigns inside of universities and colleges because the older generations all knew what was up. The company was marketing toward these younger girls specifically because they didn't know the shtick, and hinging on the fact that we would somehow be able to convince them of making easy money. I heard a lot of horror stories the longer I worked there. Specifically from people who were angrily demanding answers from directors at the annual seminar held in Toronto for Canadian Mary Kay consultants. People losing thousands of dollars. It all felt so criminal to have been a part of. Just remembered another one. I had this friend who told me her work was hiring and that she could try to get me an interview. I was about 16 at the time, she was a year older and drove me to the interview. It was in an office on the top floor of a strip mall. There were about 20 other people there who were being shown a presentation of the business, very pyramid scheme-y vibes. They had canvas photos of their top employees on the walls of all these marvelous trips they went on. During the hour presentation I never learned what the business was. They basically just told us how amazing and easy it was to get ahead in this business. The guy who runs the operation and all the employees were also there. I made a comment to my friend about how this felt like a cult and she said, and I kid you not, guy like the pyramid scheme doesn't like when people call it that. I noped the fuck on out of there fuming after this friend and her co-workers tried to push me into whatever the fuck sales job they were trying to con me into. I had the same person sign me up as a gift for not one but two different MLM companies after trying to recruit me for months. I bought a couple things with the discounts but never tried to sell anything. I don't understand how people get roped into this shit, it's so embarrassing. And yet, every female I know who is a parent or is leaning into family life pops up in my news feeds with their MLM BS products and constantly complain about how no one buys local and how important it is to support small businesses. Like, no Stephanie, you're not an entrepreneur, you're not a small business, you're a sucker pushing overpriced garbage on your friends and family who either feel sorry for you or want you to buy into their own overpriced garbage while making some middle-aged white woman in the southern states rich. Hashtag be better. Greater than every female I know who is a parent or is leaning into family life pops up in my news feeds with their MLM BS. This isn't surprising, not because moms are stupid, but because MLMs deliberately prey on the vulnerable. When you start staying home with your kids, especially after having a career, there are a lot of things, potentially, going on at once: social isolation, loss of income leading to feelings of inadequacy or not doing your part, ambivalence about the worth of unpaid labor in the home, guilt and insecurity about your parenting decisions. The list goes on. MLMs promise mothers what seems like the perfect solution, being able to earn money and spend time with your children and connect with an instant community of women just like you and feel worthy and important again. Those promises are lies, but sadly, they are very effectively aimed at those who are, because of their vulnerable state, most likely to believe them. Oh totally. I've been there with my own kids. It's sad and scary to watch it happen over and over again. My mother did Amway years ago. She told me she quit when she realized she approached every new acquaintance with a name to make a sale instead of making a friend. This is what got me out of selling insurance. It wasn't a pyramid scheme, just a shitty commission job. My co-worker and I were at a bar just chilling after a shit day, started talking to this guy, and without either of us realizing it we had launched right into the pitch. Fucking Beachbody. Had a friend who's been doing great on it. Recruiting left and right, making lots of money, and it is so easy to do because everyone wants to be healthy and lose weight. It's fine if you just use it for the workout videos for yourself, but having to be the person to reach out to random people and be like, hey you're fat, come pay loads of money for this shit, and oh yeah you can have a huge discount if you become a coach too and recruit other people and scam them also. It's all bullshit. When I was in high school I would make money convincing others they could make money by displaying ads on their computer as they browsed the internet. Made around $300 before the dot-com bust basically killed everything, dropping the going rate from 50 cents per hour to around 1 cent. On the topic, I recommend the Amazon series on becoming a god in Central Florida. It is great and fully explores MLM. Showtime, not Amazon. I don't know the whole story, but my husband's friend's parents lost their home due after trying to do the keto diet pyramid scheme job. The house was beautiful and had a lot of value. Sadly, I do think they're still trying to do it. At one point they got their son, my husband's friend, to do it as well, but after about a year of it, he quit and has a real job now. A good friend joined World Financial Group, also known as WFO. I told her off the bat to avoid it, major MLM scheme that preyed on family and friends. She of course, ignored my advice and went all gung-ho. I told her that if she wanted to keep the friendship, please don't ever ask me to join. And luckily, she didn't. She attended a whole bunch of seminars and even went on a trip to the US, a very expensive trip for her and her guy. Paid out of pocket. I think she even had to pay for training and some of the seminars too. Then one day she just stopped talking about it. I assume she grew tired of it and gave up on it. MLM scams encourage asking friends and family members to participate. I fear not to bring it up again as I'm just glad she stopped going to those meetings.